All right, so this video is an attempt to deal with two of the practice problems that I had you guys do, most notably questions 8 and 13 on page 266, to kind of explain what was going on. So we have this bank balance sheet where we have $200 over here, $200 over here. And let us assume that the reserve ratio is 25%. Okay, so fine. All right, so what that means is they have to keep 25% of this here. So 25% of 200 is 50. Yeah? Okay, so they have to keep 50. They have 52. So what the question asks you to do is they ask how many new loans, and this is what you'll see on the AP test too. That's actually what I care about more. How many loans can this bank issue, or how much in loans? And the answer is 2. So when they do that, they will issue $2 in loans, and there'll be a plus 2 over here. So this will go to 102. Okay, and this will actually go to 202 temporarily, and this will be 48, and this will still be 52 for now. Once this loan check buys, once that $2 loan buys whatever it buys, and then the check clears, then that money's pulled out of that person's account and it goes back to 200. And then this would go, and that money comes from the bank, and it's 50. That becomes 50, and this is still 48. Okay, so that's kind of how you would do that. From there, then the bank, well, they can't do anything anymore. But then that $2, if it gets redeposited, becomes 202, and then so on and so forth. At any rate, that $2 of loans was money creation. And if we go back to the original, what we've talked about, the formula, it's the change in the money supply times the multiplier equals total change in initial change in money supply times the multipier's total change in the money supply. So if we have a reserve ratio of 25%, and we know that the formula is 1 over the reserve ratio, that gives us a multiplier of 4, meaning that $2 loan that we created turns into 2 times 4, or $8 in money supply change. Yeah, so put more clearly. I deposit $10 in a bank, and that's all they have. Okay, just to not complicate things, they have $10 in reserves. Say they have to keep 20% is the reserve rate. Initially, what they can do is create a $10 loan, give it to you or someone else, not me, it's my money. Give it to someone else, and they will also have, or sorry, not 10. It has to be 8. It has to be 8 because 20%. 20% of this is that. So we have $18 on both sides temporarily. But then this person that got this $8 loan is going to go out and spend that money. And when they do, the money's going to come out of that account. And this bank is going to have to fork over that money. So I'm the bank. Let's pretend I'm the bank instead of the person depositing. If I get a $10 deposit and I loan out 8 of it, or I give someone a check for 8 and they go spend it, I have to hand over $8. I'm only left with $2 as a bank. Okay. Now, that $8, wherever they spent it, whoever wound up with that money, the person that the loan was meant to buy from, they can then deposit that $8 in the bank, and then this becomes 18, this becomes 10 again, and then, the cycle repeats itself, so on and on and on and on until we run out of money, much the same way as a spending multiplier. And how much money is going to be the initial loan, the initial money creation, which when the first person deposited the $10, this $10, that was not a change in the money supply. It was $10 in that person's hand, $10 in the bank. But when the bank loaned out 8 of that, That is $8 new. It's not the same as 8 of these dollars because it still belongs to this person and it also belongs to the person we loaned it out to simultaneously. So it's that $8 times a multiplier of 1 over 20%, which is 5. And that'll give us $40 in money supply change. So that should help you do both questions 8 and 13. They're along the same lines. If not, then, we will have, next time we have a Zoom meeting or something. I have a special Zoom meeting if you want just to look at these or whatever. Communicate with me on Facebook if you can, if you have questions about this.